Welcome to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker. This podcast is dedicated for anyone out there who's dealing with mental health and fatherhood. You'll hear about my struggles, my defeats, my victories, my highs, my lows, my triumphs, my tribulations, and everything in between. I like to call this a collection of journal entries into my struggle and adapting to single fatherhood. Without further ado, let's take a look inside my journal, the Single Father Podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker, and this is brought to you by VentPack. VentPack is an organization dedicated to helping single fathers with resources to help with parenting and growing families. I started VentPack because I noticed a very a disparaging concern when it comes to getting recognition from being a single father. When I first became single, probably a month after my child was born, and I was, searching for resources and help to do this on my own, what I noticed is no one really acknowledged single fathers as a real thing. Going back to, I believe, discontinued beliefs that fathers really don't stick around when a couple breaks up. It's really just about single mothers. And my goal in the organization is not to take away from single mothers and what they do and the hardships that they have to go through, but it's about creating an equal playground for both genders to have, or no matter what gender you are, to have a voice in how you parent and recognition as a parent. Now, I know in certain situations, in scenario XYZ, those things may not be as obtainable as I'm making it appear to be. However, what I'm talking about is much like my situation. Two couples decide that they're no longer able to coexist together in the same house and decide to be co-parents. I don't think it's fair for one gender over the other to say, you know what, because I'm mad at you or whatever the situation, I'm going to go after full custody. And because I am said gender, you already are at a disadvantage. I think that's unfair. And what I really want to do is kind of break that, that habitual behavior. It's within the justice system as well. For instance, Nevada is a 50-50 state. But even saying that, I take a little bit of offense to, because that is implying that there are other states out there where one gender is favored over the other. Now, again, I understand that in certain situations, again, scenario XYZ, there is a reason for that. However, if you are a father who, like myself, fell in love with your child the moment they came into this world, I believe if you want to be a father, then goddamn, you should give me every right to be a father, just as much as the mother. Provided, you didn't do anything wrong and there's no abuse, and again, scenario XYZ. All I'm saying is single fathers deserve an equal playground where they are not only recognized as a real entity, because I'll tell you what, when I was searching for resources myself, I came across a resources called WIC. Every mother out there knows this. Women's, Infants, and Children, I believe it stands for. But it's an organization dedicated to helping single mothers in their growing families. However, what I wasn't aware of, because it is not advertised at all pretty much anywhere, especially hence the title, is that fathers can apply for this program as well. So I actually applied for the program and I got accepted, and it was a eye-opener to me. I said, I wonder how many other fathers out there are looking for help and didn't know that they could apply for something like this. So, just in a general sense, my goal is to be dedicated to helping some of these single fathers with resources on how to become a better parent, how to help with their growing family, and just be supported. And down the line, maybe help with some financial burdens that they may go through as well. I just want to create an equal playground for people like myself. That's it. So if you guys want to learn more about the program or in the organization, it's VentPack.org. Please visit our website and shoot us an email as well. It's a great way to share your story, and potentially we'll publish your story to the blog on our website, and kind of make it a place where you can be supported by your community and vent to a pack of people much like yourselves, hence the name VentPack. So that's kind of the goal of the website and the organization, and I hope that you guys check it out. Anyways, when it comes to the podcast, this podcast is called Dear Valentine's Day. For any of you who know me well, my birthday is on Valentine's Day. And of course, you're thinking, well, that must be crazy. How do you feel about having your birthday on the day of love? What do you do when you have a girlfriend on your birthday? And my answer is, I just stay single. Okay. No, I mean, listen, my nickname is BBC, Black Baby Cupid. I get the job done, okay? I'm a very romantic man. But no, I have been dating someone for the past couple months, and we recently broke up, and I'm going to share that story with you today. So I met this girl a couple months ago, and of course, within any dating scenario, much like myself and being a single father, you either have the people who are cool with you having a kid or are not cool with you having a kid. I don't necessarily advertise it on my dating profile, but hey, you look at my Instagram, I blast my daughter so much, definitely not hiding anything. So, and I tell people that, straight up, hey, what are your hobbies? You know what? I like to go by the pool, go to the gym. I'm a kind of a go with the flow type of guy. I like just going to bars, hanging with friends. And my greatest hobby, though, the thing I love doing the most is just being a dad. And people either are one or two ways. Sorry, I'm not ready for that in my life. I don't want to be a mom right now, which, parentheses, never asked you to be. But, I get that. If you ever watched or ever listened to one of my previous podcasts, I dated someone who had a kid, and I ended up hating their kid. So, look, I get it. Okay? I get if that's just not for you. And I get the kind of hesitant nature of going into something like that. I do. However, on the opposite side of that, if you just want to get to know me and the person and then make your decision after that, I'm all for it. So they're the type of women that actually do look past that and want to know me as the person, and then know me as the father, and then know me as the whatever the case may be, right? So anyways, I meet this girl. I won't say her name, but we hang out, and it's great. And, she was a really fun person, and I felt a connection with her. Not a deep one, but I've definitely felt a connection that I'm like, hey, I want to give this a try. So we've been dating a few months, and it's been fun. And it came around, month 2, where I wanted to kind of really, really dive deep on kind of our lifestyles and what makes us us. So, having a psychology background, I said, well, tell me about that. What makes you sad? What makes you cry? Tell me about your life, your family, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is kind of a different of opinion and a controversial one. And I understand this. However, there are people that will give you bits of information where you can kind of piece together at, times, and you learn about each other as time kind of goes on. However, there are people that, in the lack of better words, trauma dump on you. Everyone knows what that means. Maybe you've done it. Maybe you know someone who's done it. But everyone can kind of understand what that means. Trauma dumping. This woman trauma dumped on me more than I've ever imagined. Now, when I say this, I want to be clear. My podcast is about healing, fun, but it's about mental health. It's about success. It's about growth. It's about fatherhood, parenting. It's just about growing and, being supportive, venting. I'm here for that. So I understand how it feels to just have someone listen to you and feel heard and kind of get that off your chest. So it wasn't so much of a burden where I ran away from it. I actually embraced it, and I was engaging, and I was shocked, but I was definitely supportive. Now, as we became closer with each other, she became coming to me with more and more. There's no better way to say it. She came to me with more and more problems. There came a time where she was going through a hard time. She lost someone in her life, and a couple years back, and it was around Christmas, and she was reminded of the person, and I completely understood that. But there came a time shortly after that where she called me and cried to me. Now that itself is completely fine. The problem that I had, though, is she cried to me every single day. About 3 times a day would call me, cry. Every day, a different issue, the same issue, but it would be every single day. No exaggeration, every day. Now, once again, I want to clarify. I'm the harmonious king. I am, the creator of VentPack. I'm the mental health guru. This is the place where you can come to. I am the place you can come to feel heard, supported, and try to heal. But there comes a time where you have to try to work on yourself as well. What I mean by that is, I would say, well, I completely understand where you're coming from. Maybe you should do this. Well, you don't even know what the situation is. Fuck you, dude. Like, blah, 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 blah. You're like, that's not what I wanted to hear. I just wanted you to listen to me and tell me everything's going to be okay. So the next day she calls me and I say, you know what, babe? I hear you. Everything will be okay. Oh my God, I don't want you to just fucking, just pretend like you're listening. I want you to actually give me advice. Like, okay, I tried that. But so the next day I give her advice again. She's like, oh my God, you're not listening to me. I just want you to say, okay, babe, that's it. So the next day she cries to me and I just stay silent. I say, I hear you. And she's like, so that's all you're going to say? It's just, I hear you? The next day, I try to give her a reference to my life. I said, you know what? Something similar happened to me. XYZ, XYZ. Oh my fucking God, it's not about you. It's about me. Don't you get that? Whew. Right? So you can kind of see I attacked this at all angles, just not fucking working. And at this point, I'm getting kind of irritated because I try to help. I can't win. And it's frustrating because it kind of goes against my belief that I'm feeling this way. But I honestly felt like she was almost just I mean, not almost, she was bringing me down. I'm like, every fucking day you cry. You just cry to me. You're a grown woman, right? And it's true to form. She was a little younger than me, and I'm 27 at this point with a kid. So the things that I think about, the things that I worry about, the problems that I think are actually problems, those are a little bit different for me. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Because I kind of handle everything with the perspective of being a grown man, having real responsibilities. But some of the things that she would cry to me about is, my parents, they pay for my brother's apartment. They pay for my brother's school. They pay for everything for him. And they don't really do anything for me at all. That's understandable. I get that. But then she would go further with it. And before I say this, I just want to clarify. As a man, there are things that you say to your girlfriend that is kind of the conventional understandments. Like, oh, I totally get that, babe. Like, yeah, what a bitch. Yeah, that dress was terrible. Yeah, she's such a fucking... Yeah, babe, oh my God, really? Wow, that's crazy. Uh-huh, babe, I get you. You say those things, and you agree because you love them, and you're listening, right? But there are things that someone can say that goes against every single moral belief that you have. That's just completely against everything that you stand for. And this was one of them. She said, you don't understand. I just want to be supported. I just want them to pay for my stuff. And I said, well, babe, if it's that hard, then, you're still living with your parents. You're 23. Maybe you should move out. And she's like, you don't understand. I want them to pay for my apartment. Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, hey, and it's a lot of money. Well, maybe she get a better job. You don't get me. I just want to be supported. I just want them. And I shortly understood what she was saying. She doesn't want the responsibilities of having bills, having a job. She doesn't want to grow. And she's literally said this. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to have bills. I just don't want. Is it so bad that I'm just not ready to be an adult? And honestly, it disgusted me. It did. It fucking disgusted me. Because let me tell you something. Everything in my house, everything, besides, the help from my grandma a little bit, but just passing things down to me. But everything in my fucking house, I've earned and I've worked for on my own. I understand that there are people out there that get everything handed to them, and God bless them, and I have nothing against it. But sulking over that, but crying over it, it's disgusting to me. It really is. Go out and do something. Better yourself. Why don't you actually do something about your situation instead of sitting here crying to me about it? You're crying that you don't want to you're crying that you don't want to pay a phone bill. Let me add up all my bills for you, and you see what real bills are like. You're crying that you don't want to go get an apartment. You're still in college. You can get a student housing apartment, and you don't have a kid for maybe $600-$800. You know what my rent is? It's just the type of shit that irks you. Just that this. Just I don't know. It made me look at her differently. It did, because it's just against everything that I vibe with. I don't get down with that. I don't get down with the. I'm sorry to say this, and I won't say her name, so it's not disrespectful. But I mean, it is kind of. I don't know. It's just like a spoiled little brat wanting everything paid for them, and I'm never, ever going to be in that mindset. I'm a hustler. I'm a hard worker. And I get up every day because I have to. I have no choice to. my daughter needs peanut butter and jellies and I need money. I mean, it's just that simple. I buck up, put my big boy pants on and do my shit, right? But this girl would call me every fucking day crying about the same fucking shit. Couldn't get through to her. Every example or advice I lay out, it's wrong. But then she started taking it even deeper. I just want you to tell me that you love me, babe. I just want to tell you to tell me that you hear me. And I'd be like, I do, babe, blah, blah, blah. Then why don't every time that you have Layla, you can't put more attention to me as well? I said, excuse me? So you're saying that you want to be on par with my daughter? No. I'm just saying that, like, when you don't have her, I feel like the only girl in the world. But when you do, I just feel like you don't have time for me. And I say, listen, then get a job, get some friends. I'm sorry to say that when I have my daughter, more of my intention is going to be with her and always going to be to her. And if I have a girlfriend, that girlfriend is definitely a priority to me. No matter what, it's a priority. But my daughter will always come first. My child, my responsibilities are going to come first. And anybody who wants to get in a relationship has to understand that. I have a job to do, a responsibility. I am a person who puts food on the table. I can't just have everything paid for me like you want or expect or are currently having done for you. It's a little bit different. And then that right there was almost just the icing on the cake. But then she would come over my house and with my daughter, and I could tell the difference. My daughter did something that irritated her. And she said, oh, no, Layla, like, don't do that. But she would say it in a way where it made my daughter uncomfortable. I could tell on her face she didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I could tell that she was irritated by my child. No, look, a kid can be irritating. My daughter can be irritating as fuck. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She's obsessed with me, follows me everywhere. Oh my God, she can be annoying. But I've been doing this so long, I've been single so long, I've been a parent for so long that it just felt weird when she did it. And it wasn't just that, it was everything. I knew. It's like, when you know something in your heart, I know that she was almost taking her frustration out on my daughter. And I said, hell to the fuck no. That's it. I don't want you around anymore. I can't have you around anymore. This isn't working. And then something fucking crazy happened. I tried to break up with her and kind of went back and forth a little bit. And on my birthday, it was Valentine's Day, she was working, and then she got off work and she's like, babe, I really didn't know I'd get off this late. Maybe we can do something tomorrow. And I said, hey, no problem. If you're tired, we'll definitely do something tomorrow. Okay? No problem, babe. I'm turning 27. I don't want to celebrate it anyway. It's kind of uncomfortable. And then she texts me later and says, I know you have your daughter on Valentine's Day, but it really makes me uncomfortable that you didn't want me to come over. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? You're the one who said that you didn't want to come over. And she said, well, I just hope that maybe, I just felt like my true Valentine would be like, babe, I'll do anything for you to come over. It's Valentine's Day. Please come over. And I said, what the fuck? I am a grown man. If you don't want to, listen, if you're too tired, we can do something tomorrow. I felt like I was living in an insane asylum. Like I was going, like, this lady's insane. So we broke up and that's it. So yeah, having a girlfriend on Valentine's Day is a little weird, but hey, with all due respect, that girl was a little weird, I guess, too. It's weird, dating when having a kid. But I feel like when I meet the right person, everything will feel right. Everything. To disciplining, to the type of communication that we have, to the type of lifestyles that we have, the understanding that we have when each other's busy. And the thing that I hate is just when girls are like, you didn't like my fucking post from 30 minutes ago. Well, maybe, bitch, because I'm working. Okay, maybe it's because I have a job. I don't know, I just feel like I truly haven't met the one yet. But I don't want to be playboy, right? I don't want to be that college frat guy. I'm not into it. I don't want to sleep with a whole bunch of girls and party all the time. I want to meet my person. I want to meet the person that I feel like I'm going to enjoy having them around, enjoy their company, actually love being on the phone. And to anyone listening, talking about your problems is never a bad thing. It's not at all. It's just kind of the respect and the maturity that comes with it that could be an issue to someone in a position like myself, which I feel like I've outgrown the things that she was complaining to me about. I've outgrown the type of the nature of her concerns. I've outgrown the pettiness that she concluded in her head at times. I've outgrown it, and I'm looking for something more grown, more mature, more grounded in reality, not based on material things like, did you like my photo, or did you just craziness like I explained. But hey, Valentine's Day, huh? Well, I'll say that I'm excited to meet the person in my life. I'm excited to see what 2022 brings me. I think I'm ready and manifesting a new love in my life, and I'll be excited to share it with you guys as soon as it comes. But to the girl listening, one of my favorite quotes: "Your life and mine are scheduled to meet February 14th. I wouldn't miss it for the world." Anyways, just wanted to share my breakup story with you. That girl was crazy. That's the moral of the story, with all due respect to that girl, if you're listening.
Here's what I found.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I know it was a little bit gratuitous, but wanted to shoot something out there. I'm hoping to kind of make this podcast a little bit more on the positive notes. I know I've been kind of telling a little bit of depressing stories here and there, but again, it's a journal, and I just wanted to kind of share my life with you and kind of share updates on my life and what's going on. And anyone who cares to listen, I hope it's entertaining in some way, shape, or form. Thank you for being a supporter of the episode. Please check out our website, VentPack.org. Again, it's a place dedicated to help single fathers and growing their families, and get some resources there. And you can email us and share some of your stories and your thoughts, and maybe some journey that you've been on that would be beneficial to the community. And I can see if I can post that on our blog page. Please check out our socials, which is what is it? What the fuck is it? It's Dear VentPack. Yeah, check out the social. And you can follow me personally on Instagram, which is just at Kendall Donaker. I've had a great time venting with you, so thank you for letting me vent. And until next time, still, you're a single father. Pray for me. Bye-bye.